Hello everyone, I am Dr. Kunal Sharma from the Department of Pharmacology, Sri Krishna Medical College, Muzaffarpur. Now we are discussing general principles of general anesthesia. If we will break anesthesia into two parts, N means without and aesthesis means sensation, means loss of sensation. The general anesthesia is a very important topic because of this our modern medical system gain popularity. Coming to introduction of general anesthesia, what do we mean by anesthesia? Anesthesia is a reversible condition of comfort and quiescence for a patient within the physiological limit before, during and after performance of a procedure. General anesthesia is a reversible state of unconsciousness produced by anesthetic agent with loss of sensation of pain over the whole body for surgical procedure to render the patients unaware or unresponsive to the painful stimuli. Drugs producing general anesthesia are called general anesthetics. General anesthetics are drugs which causes reversible loss of all sensation and consciousness. There are 5 cardinal features of general anesthesia. First one is loss of all sensation, especially pain. Second one, it produces unconsciousness or sleep. Third one, forgetfulness or amnesia. Fourth one is immobility and muscle relaxation. Fifth and the last one is abolition of somatic and autonomic reflexes. These cardinal features makes the patient body suitable for any kind of surgery. A combination of IV anesthetic agents and inhaled anesthetics are considered as balanced anesthesia. When we talk about ideal anesthetic agents, it should be rapid and smooth. It means ideal for induction and loss of consciousness. Second one is physiologically stable. It means it doesn't cause large variation in patient's blood pressure and heart rate. Third one is it should be reversible and rapidly metabolized. Means allows for rapid return of cognitive function when discontinued. Last but not least, safe. It devoid of adverse effect with a wide margin of safety. There are few essential components of general anesthesia which anesthetist wants, and it is known as triad of general anesthesia, and it is need for unconsciousness, second one is need for muscle relaxation, and third one is need for analgesia. Induction, maintenance and recovery, these are the 3 anesthesia events. Induction, it means period of time which begins with the administration of anesthetic agents up to the development of surgical anesthesia, which is usually done by the inducing agent like thiopentane sodium. Second one is the maintenance, sustaining the effect of anesthesia during whole procedure of the surgery, which is usually done by inhalational agent like nitrous oxide and halogenated hydrocarbons. And third one is the recovery, anesthetic stop at the end of surgical procedure and consciousness regains soon. When we talk about history of general anesthesia, it start from the middle of the 19th century agents like alcohol, opium, cannabis or even concussion and asphyxia. All these agents were used to obtain surgical pain, but operations were horrible ordeals. Horace Wells, a dentist, used nitrous oxide from a demonstration of laughing gas in 1844, but he often failed to relieve dental pain completely. And at last, Morton, he was also a dentist and a medical student at Boston, after experimenting on animals, gave a demonstration of ether anesthesia in 1846, and it was soon become very popular anesthetic agents. Like this diagram, first one is before nitrous oxide and ether. It was how doctors and anesthetics handle patients, and second one when Morton shows ether anesthesia in 1846. As time progressed, Chloroform was used by Simpson in Britain for obstetrical purposes in 1847, and despite its all toxic potential, it became a very popular surgical anesthetic agent. Queen Victoria famously used chloroform during her childbirth in the 1850s. Further, cyclopropane was introduced in 1929, but the new generation of anesthetics was heralded by halothane in 1956. The first IV anesthetic agent, thiopentane sodium, was introduced in 1935, and it is also used nowadays for the induction of anesthesia. Brain is the main target for anesthetic agents. All CNS drugs must be lipid soluble to cross blood-brain barrier. Oil gas partition coefficient, which denotes the amount of gas that is soluble in oil phase. It measures anesthetic potency. The second term is blood gas partition coefficient, which denotes the solubility of anesthetic agents in the blood. It is ranked in following order, like halothane having the highest solubility in our blood and nitrous oxide is having lowest solubility in our blood. The effect of solubility and the effect of general anesthesia, which is vice versa. Like low solubility, like nitrous oxide, is having rapid onset and offset, whereas halothane, which has highest solubility in our blood, which shows slow onset and offset of general anesthesia. Now coming to pathway for inhalational anesthesia. This diagram shows inspired gas mixtures goes to alveoli with inspiration, and further it goes to arterial blood, which further distributed to brain and other tissues, and some amount of general anesthesia go for metabolism. When we stop giving general anesthetic agents, or we can say inhalational anesthetic agent, then from the brain and other tissue, the general anesthetic agents come to venous blood, then it goes to alveoli and then releases from our body. The depth of anesthesia depends upon the partial pressure of general anesthetic agent in brain, and the rate of induction and recovery depends upon the change in partial pressure. As we discussed earlier, anesthetic effect of the inhalational agents are based on the partial pressure in the CNS. Now coming to the factors affecting alveolar concentration, there are three factors: uptake, ventilation and concentration. Uptake, it means influenced by the partial pressure of anesthetic in our alveoli. Then ventilation, it denotes constantly replacing the anesthetic taken up by the pulmonary blood stream, and the concentration is like increasing the inspired concentration and the second gas effect, which we will discuss later on. Minimum alveolar concentration 1 or Mach 1 is usually used for inhalational anesthetic agents. Mach 1 is defined as the minimum alveolar concentration that prevents movement in response to surgical stimulation in 50% of subjects, which correlates with the oil gas partition coefficients. Practically, it mirrors the brain partial pressure. Alveolar concentration can be monitored continuously by the measuring of end tidal anesthetic concentration using spectrometry, and the third, endpoint or immobilization can be measured through this, and other endpoints like verbal command or memory can be monitored through Mach 1. There are different Mach value for inhalational anesthetic, like nitrous oxide is having 105% and halothane is having 0.75%, whereas isoflurane 1.2%, desflurane 6% and sevoflurane is having 2% of Mach 1 value. The Mach 1 of all inhalational anesthetic declines progressively as age advances beyond 50 years. Mach explain only capacity of anesthetic to enter in the brain and attain sufficient concentration, but not denotes the actual mechanism of action of general anesthetics agent. For intravenous anesthetic agent, the potency of intravenous anesthetic agent is defined as the free plasma concentration that produces loss of response to surgical incision in 50% of the subjects. It is very difficult to measure because no available method to measure the blood or plasma concentration of general anesthetic continuously, and second one is the free concentration at the site of action cannot be determined. Now coming to mechanism of general anesthesia, the effect of general anesthetics action on numerous ion channels in the CNS and PNS. Some effects are spinal and some are supraspinal. Ablation in the response to pain in mediated in the spinal cord. Hypnosis and amnesia are the supraspinal. The effect of general anesthesia over the thalamus and reticuloactivating centers causes analgesia and unconsciousness. The effect of general anesthesia in cerebral cortex and hippocampus causes amnesia or forgetfulness, and the effect over spinal cord causes immobility and analgesia, which is required for any surgery. General anesthetics agents are mainly caused CNS depression by modifying the electrical activity of neurons at a molecular level by modifying function of ion channels. There are few receptors like GABA A receptors, which is potentiated by halothane, propofol, etomidate, N-fluorine, isoflurane, desflurane and sevoflurane. Another is NMDA receptors, which is inhibited by ketamine, nitrous oxide and xenon. The third one is the glycine receptors, which is potentiated by halothane, propofol, N-fluorine, isoflurane, desflurane and sevoflurane. General anesthetics has also effect on neuronal nicotinic receptors and 5-HT3 receptor, which causes further analgesia and amnesia like barbiturates and fluorinated anesthetic agents. The diagram is showing GABA receptors, which has some extracellular binding sites and transmembrane binding sites, where benzodiazepines is having extracellular site binding sites and barbiturates is having transmembrane binding sites. This slide shows the brief mechanism of action over the ionic receptors or ion channels for the general anesthetics. General anesthetics potentiates the inhibitory ion channels like GABA A receptor and strychnine sensitive glycine channels. On the other hand, all excitatory ion channels, which is mainly governed by sodium, which has been inhibited by general anesthetic agents like 5-HT3 receptors, neuronal nicotinic receptors and glutamate and NMDA and AMPA receptors. Now coming to stages of general anesthesia. General anesthesia cause an irregularly descending depression of the CNS, that is, higher functions are lost first and progressively lower areas of the brain are involved, but the spinal cord lower segment are affected somewhat earlier than the higher segments. The vital centers located in the medulla are paralyzed at the last as the depth of anesthesia increases. Goodell in 1920 described 4 stages with ether anesthesia, in which dividing the stage 3 into 4 planes. General anesthesia causes depression in the brain. The order of descending depressions are: first one, it affect cortical and psychic centers, then progressively it will depress basal ganglia and cerebellum, then spinal cord, and at last medullary centers. These are the main effect of depression over the brain, and according to this our stages of anesthesia are divided. When we talk about stages of anesthesia, it starts from stage 1, which is also known as stage of analgesia. It is mainly due to descending depression of cortical and psychic centers. It starts from the beginning of anesthesia administration and lasts up to loss of consciousness. Patient also feels a dream-like state. Other reflexes and respiration remains normal. The stage 2 is due to basal ganglia and cerebellum depression. It is also known as stage of delirium, and it starts from the loss of consciousness to the beginning of irregular respiration. Earlier in stage 1 it was normal, respiration was normal, but when patient enters into stage 2, respiration become irregular. Another apparent excitement is seen, muscle tone increases, jaws are tightly closed, heart rate and blood pressure may shoot up. This stage is not found with modern anesthesia due to pre-anesthetic medication and rapid induction. Now coming to stage 3, it is the surgical anesthesia stage, and it is mainly due to the depression of spinal cord. All the surgery can be performed at this stage and mainly used plane 1 and plane 2 of the surgical anesthesia. Surgical anesthesia extends from the onset of irregular respiration to cessation of spontaneous breathing, and this has been divided into 4 planes. The plane 1, when eyeball become fixed; plane 2, when loss of chorangeal and laryngeal reflexes, and in plane 3 we can see people start dilating and light reflexes goes off or absent. Now when patient reach to plane 4, pupils gets dilated and decrease muscle tone, and also there is fall in blood pressure. Now the last stage is the stage 4 of the anesthesia, is also known as medullary paralysis stage, and it is due to the depression of medullary center. At this stage, patient survival of the patient is very less, and we may not able to revert our patient in life condition, because all the medullary centers are depressed and the respiration and vasomotor controls are ceases, and the cessation of breathing to failure of circulation, and patient leads to death. Yeah, friends, this is the diagrammatic representation of all the stages of general anesthesia, where we can we can appreciate stage 1 is the stage of analgesia, where we can see all the reflexes are almost normal, and the main use of this stage 1, the stage of analgesia, is for labor incision and for minor operations. Now coming to stage 2, it is the stage of delirium, and where we can appreciate there are just irregular lines of thoracic and abdominal respiration. It means respiration are not normal, and there are rolling eyeballs. Pupil size also increased, means people dilated pupil we can find in stage 2. There are all the reflexes, ocular reflexes are present, like eyelid reflex, pharyngeal reflex, corneal reflex and light reflex, but skeletal muscle tone increased with lots of involuntary movement. Blood pressure also increases and heart rate also increases. Practically, stage of delirium having no use in our medical science, and all the operations, most of the operations are performed in the surgical anesthesia stage, where plane 1 and plane 2 are mainly used by the anesthetics to perform operations. In plane 1 we can appreciate there are the regular respiration, but respiratory rates are going down, so at this time we have to intubate our patients for proper ventilations. And second one, ocular movements are also present in plane 1 of surgical anesthesia. Pupil size become normal, and there are loss of eyelid reflex, but pharyngeal, corneal and right reflex are present. Involuntary movements are not at that much, it's near to normal. Blood pressure and heart rates are also normal, but we can see there are slight increase in heart rate in plane 1 of surgical anesthesia stage. But in plane 2 there is, we can see respiration goes down, and rolling eyeballs become fixed. Although pupil size is normal, but we can also find there are loss of pharyngeal and corneal reflex at this stage, but light reflex is present, and involuntary movements, blood pressure are also decreasing, and means muscle become relaxed, and heart rate gradually increases with the increase of planes. And in plane 3 and plane 4 there are very shallow respiration, so we have to give mechanical ventilation to our patients at this stage properly. Then eye ball is fixed. Now in plane 3 and plane 4 we can see, there is dilatation of eyeballs, and it is gradual kind of dilatation. In plane 3 there are people is mid dilated, but in plane 4 the pupil dilatation is more than plane 3, and it's almost reaching to fully dilated pupil kind of things we can see, but and all the reflexes are absent. But heart rate is in plane 4 of surgical anesthesia is very high, so it is never attempted by any anesthetics. And another thing for the anesthetics difficulty, another thing difficulty we can find, the plane 4 of surgical anesthesia and medullary paralysis stage, there is very less margin, so we it is never attempted by anesthetics. So and at last medullary paralysis stage, it is the last stage of anesthesia, and all the medullary centers become depressed, people become fixed, dilated and fixed, and it is the stage where very where death of the patient may occur. And if patient reaching to this stage, it is very difficult task for the anesthetics to save such kind of patient who enters into the medullary paralysis. Now going further, there are general effects of the general anesthesia. First, general anesthetics are causing general anesthesia to the patients. Second one, there is myocardial and respiratory depression. Third one is increase intracranial pressure. Some of the general anesthetic agents can increase intracranial pressure. So in brain surgery, that type of anesthetic agent having no use. And fourth one is the post-operative nausea and emesis. Elimination of general anesthesia is mostly through lungs in unchanged form. Channel of absorption become channel of elimination. It means general anesthetics means almost all inhalational anesthetics absorbed from lungs and also eliminated by lungs. It remain persisted in adipose tissue for longer periods, mainly high lipid soluble anesthetic agents and also low blood flow. The high lipid soluble agents are mainly thiopentane sodium, which is used for the induction of anesthesia, and it is given through intravenous route. Also, They are not metabolized except halothane. Halothane is metabolized in our body. There are also second gas effect and diffusion hypoxia, which we will discuss in next slide. Now coming to second gas effect, it is only seen with the nitrous oxide. Initially, more and more gas will enter to the blood irrespective of tidal volume due to patient ventilation. It is a passive process. For example, nitrous oxide and halothane are commonly given as mixture. Nitrous oxide will suck faster within few minutes carrying along with halothane at the same rate. The benefit the induction become faster. Now coming to diffusion hypoxia. Reverse happen during recovery when discontinuation of nitrous oxide. It diffuses to alveoli and dilutes air in alveoli. It results oxygen concentration will be decreased in inspired air. So hypoxia occurs in low cardiopulmonary reserve patients, means like COPD patients or cardiac patients, like who has earlier cardiac failure episode or dilated cardiomyopathic patients, and there is simple treatment option available for diffusion hypoxia. Anesthetists should have to inhale 100% oxygen to the patients and to prevent the diffusion hypoxia. Now coming to indications for general anesthesia, and general anesthesia is given to infants and children, adults who prefer general anesthesia, extensive surgical procedures, patients with mental disease, long duration of surgery, surgery for which local anesthesia is impractical or unsatisfactory, history of toxic or allergic reaction to local anesthetic agents, and the patient who is receiving anticoagulant therapy. Now coming to routes of administration of general anesthesia. General anesthesia can be given through enteral route, oral or rectal route, parenteral route, in which sublingual, intranasal and intramuscular and intravenous routes are preferable routes for parenteral, and another inhalational route. Now coming to classification of general anesthesia, general anesthetics are divided into two types. One is inhalational anesthetic agent and another one is intravenous anesthetic agent. Inhalational anesthetic agents are either gas or halogenated. Nitrous oxide and cyclopropane are gas, and halothane, enflurane, isoflurane, sevoflurane, desflurane, methoxyflurane are halogenated inhalational general anesthetics agents. Now coming to intravenous anesthetic agents, they are either fast inducers, slow inducers, neurolept analgesics or dissociative anesthetics. Barbiturates and non-barbiturates are fast inducers. Thiopental sodium, methoxytel are barbiturates. Propofol, etomidate are non-barbiturates. Now, benzodiazepines, diazepam, lorazepam, midazolam are slow inducers, and it also benzodiazepines also comes under intravenous general anesthetic agents. Phenytoin and droperidol are neurolept analgesia. Ketamine is dissociative anesthetic agents. With all these agents like inhalational and intravenous anesthetic agents with pre-anesthetic medications discussed on the next slide or next lecture. My next lecture would be in inhalational anesthetic agents, intravenous anesthesia, pre-anesthetic medications. Thank you. This is my email address drkunalsarma@gmail.com, and my mobile number is +91 87631 55551. If you have any query, then just pin me. Thank you.